All right. Hello there, Snap men and women. We're so excited to have you. All right. We got our guests coming on. Again, this is the Millionaire's Mindset, where we come together to get better. And today we have a very special guest, Mr. Justin Lafitte. Justin, can you
Yo,
hear us?
yes, I can. What's going on?
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks again for your time. We really look forward to learning from you. So again, this is all just designed for us to get better together. There's been a great presence that's already been felt by you down in Texas and many of us across the nation. So today we just really wanted to dive into your brain, into your world, understand a little bit, some tips and things that can make us better as we're out there on the road. So welcome, my friend. Thank you so much.
Awesome, man. Thank you for having me on here.
Absolutely. So, one thing that's is unique about our culture, and we talk about it a lot, is the word grind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting out there and following the process. So, if we can just kick it off by just, what does grind mean to you, and how is that your personal grind impacting your success to impact your community?
Um, Man, grind is a relevant term. I actually had a phone conversation with one of my good friends today, who's within our company, about how discipline translates in a bunch of different aspects of life. You know, what you do in your morning routine translates into workouts, translates into nutrition, translates into your family life, translates into your work life. And to me, the grind is a continuous process of all of those things in a combination. You know, if one of them is not going at the level that it should, it's a ripple effect into all the other ones. And lately I feel like I've almost been operating at like 75% potential sometimes, and I caught myself on that. And I told my buddy, because I wanted him to hold me accountable to not letting that happen. So next time we talk, he can ask me, hey, are you still 75%ing or not? And I want to be able to confidently say, no, I'm not. But to me, that grind starts with having a plan when you first wake up in the morning, executing it on a daily basis, and then putting those days together into a chain reaction of good weeks, good months, and then eventually good years and a good career. And that's what the last 3 years, which isn't that long of a time, but in Snap Raise it is. That's what it's been for me, is putting together chain reactions of days and weeks and months and seasons into years. So that's my definition of grind.
There it is. And I appreciate you being vulnerable. So you said 75%. Like, how did you identify that you are at 75%?
Because I feel like when I'm actually out on the field talking to coaches, I am able to feel very confident in what I'm doing. But the problem is, if I'm not out on the field talking to coaches, I'm not operating at the level that I can be. And there's times where I'm not in schools when I should be. You know, I didn't show up early enough. I didn't stay late enough. I didn't go pursue the coach that I should have, because I thought about something else that I needed to do. That I made a mental justification as, oh, I need to go take care of that, so it's okay for me to not go talk to that coach right now. And I hate that. And if I saw another rep do that, I would call him out on it. But yet I hadn't been calling myself out on it. So that's something I've been really trying to be more conscious of lately. And that's where that 75% idea came from, because I don't want to do that. So today, for example, I caught myself doing that yesterday. So today I made a concerted effort to go above and beyond. And I texted my whole team this morning, and I told them, because it was my daily post day, I said, guys, yesterday I did not have a good day. I felt sorry for myself because I had some other stuff going on, and I let it affect my day. So I texted everybody and I said, today I'm holding myself accountable to not go home until I have at least 5 new sales. And that's actually why I'm on the phone with you in the car right now, because up until 10 minutes ago, I was at a middle school campus waiting for an athletic coordinator to show up, because right now I'm sitting at 3, or right before then I was sitting at 3, but I sat there on the field until I talked to him, and he seemed hesitant, but I did not walk away from him until I got dates set with boys and girls athletics, so that I know that I'm going home at 5 today.
Boom, bringing home five. I love it. Yeah, and as I talk to other leaders, that it's that grind and putting in the accountability. So you got the accountability with yourself. Talk to us a little bit about with your tenure here, accountability buddies and reaching out. You said you reached out to someone to hold you accountable. Obviously, we got to take ourselves accountable, but even taking it to the next level, how did you form that relationship? Have you always done that? Is that something recent? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
This is actually something I've been thinking and talking a lot about lately. I feel like I really picked up on accountability when I was in college. My college coach, he was pretty hard nosed dude. He was very disciplined with us. He said and did some things that I didn't necessarily agree with so much, especially at the time. But looking back at it now, I realized that the one thing that he did incredibly well is he was very consistent with his standards. He didn't deviate from his standards, whether it was on the court, off the court, whatever. He didn't allow for excuses. If he felt something could be done better, he would address it. And sometimes it was in a very aggressive way, which is where I didn't necessarily see eye to eye with it. But the bottom line is he did address it in a way that was productive. You still got me?
Yeah.
It went green for a second. So what that has led to in my professional career is understanding that in the heat of battle is the term that he used a lot. In the heat of battle, communication has got to be at an all-time high, and it's not always going to be easy to hear, but it will be productive and constructive. And that's the type of accountability that I seek out and that I give to others, because I know that if I'm holding someone accountable in a deconstructive way, that's not going to help anybody. They're not going to want to reciprocate that back to me. So I find guys that I trust are going to be able to hold me accountable to the level that I know they're trying to themselves. You know, it might be a rep that's only been with us for a year, but if I trust that they're going to be able to hold themselves accountable to a higher standard, I want them to do the same with me. And I'm more than willing to be vulnerable with someone in that situation and tell them, man, I did not maximize today. I didn't maximize today as a rep. I didn't maximize today as a husband. I didn't maximize today as a future father, by the way. We're pregnant.
Hey, here it is,
But
folks. Let's
so
timestamp this March 1st, 2018. God bless you. That's fantastic, brother.
yeah, man. So that's something that's been going through my mind a lot lately is where am I going to find this accountability? And if I am not seeking that accountability from someone else, I am most definitely not going to give it to myself. I mean, yesterday, Exhibit A, I had a day where I was feeling sorry for myself. I found other things that I needed to do all of a sudden that were not pertaining to getting in front of new coaches. And at the core of what we do, that doesn't make any sense. And that's never been who I am. And I immediately called up my buddy and I said, hey, man, this is what I did. And I want to make sure it doesn't happen again. I want to make sure you're holding me accountable to it. And in that process, he started to talk to me about things that he knows he felt short on. We walked away from that conversation feeling very constructive and progressive about what we're going to be doing tomorrow and the next day because of that one short accountability conversation. So it can come from different people. Some people it's just snap related things, and other people it's snap and spiritual life and home life and literally everything that I do on a daily basis. So
Yeah, no, that's phenomenal. So I mean, you've got your buddy. You reach out. How do you measure your accountability? How do you put that into something that a rep like myself or anybody listening to this can say, hey, what can I measure? What is that dialogue like? How do you follow up? If you could expand a little bit.
So I have an idea of what my capabilities are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very aware when I'm not even getting close to the tapping that cap, you know what I mean? Or not cap, but that higher level.
Right.
Again, whether it's the spiritual life, the marriage, the snap related stuff. I mean, obviously for the sake of this conversation, keep it mostly snap related. But if I know that I'm capable of making 10 new sales in a day and I'm consistently not doing that, it's not because I can't. It's just because I'm not.
Right.
If I don't have someone asking me, "Hey, did you get your 10 sales today?" and I say, "Well, no," and they say, "Why?" and I'm telling them anything else other than, "Man, I just simply didn't. I was lazy." It's going to be an excuse, and that's not good enough. And if I'm seeking that accountability and responding to it in a way that fires me up, like, man, I don't want to have to tell them that I did not get 10 sales when they ask me this again tomorrow. So tomorrow, I'm not stopping until I get 10 because I know that they're going to call me at 8 p.m. and ask me how many sales I got that day. And I don't want to say anything else other than, yeah, I got my 10. No, actually, I got 12. because while I was there, I found more people. I know I'm capable of doing that, and I don't necessarily seek that out. I'm not. I would probably go nuts if I tried to get 10 new sales every single day. I probably would never see my wife, but that's the idea behind it. I do have an accountability plan going right now, actually, with Daniel Hack, who I know you know, and Tyler Palmer, with 5 new sales a week, which is incredibly attainable. But our goals that Snap has set for us is 16 new sales a month, and if we're getting 5 new ones a week, that's at least 20 new ones a month. And in the 2 months that we've been doing this, we have blown that out of the water. There's been days where we get 5 in one day. Today, for example. So, but having that standard and communicating that with Tyler and Hack on a regular basis has allowed us to be very competitive with each other. You know, when I get my 2 new sales, I put it through our group thread. Hey, I just put 2, and they put. Oh, you still got me?
I can hear you. I don't have an audio.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm trying to get back on.
There you go.
You got me now?
Beautiful. Yes.
Okay. So anyways, if I put through, I got my 2 new sales, they put exclamation points on it to acknowledge the excitement behind it. I'm doing the same thing when they get their new sales. And like I said, 5 was the goal for the week, and we haven't even come close to being that low on a regular basis. And they're holding me accountable to it. And our leaderboard on a weekly basis is holding us accountable to that. Because if I look on there and I see anything less than 5 on either Hack or Palmer, they know I'm going to be blowing them up, and they know, or I know that they're going to be doing the same thing to me. So that's a really tangible example of what it looks like for me on a daily basis.
Yeah. So if we're listening right now, what we can take away is, find out what your standard is, create that number so you can reach that daily, make it simple. And then, have the frequency of reaching out, whether it's every day or every couple days. That way you can continue to hold each other accountable and also just transfer that enthusiasm, get excited. I mean, that helps spurs on more activity, right?
It does. And now that you kind of repeat it back that way, it made me think of something. It's why it's so important to set attainable goals. I've had multiple weeks throughout the last 3 years of my Snap career where I've gotten 5 sales before. So I know that 5 is a very attainable goal. Yeah. But I also know that if I just internalized that and kept it as a personal goal, I might have a week where I only hit 3 or 4. And I would think, well, I mean, no one knows that I had a standard of 5 and that I didn't hit it. So everything's still good to go. Right. 3 is still good, right? If I get 3 a month, 3 a week, 12 a month, that's pretty decent. But the fact that I have 2 guys holding me accountable to that just takes it to a whole new level. And it makes me, when I see that they got 10 new sales in a week and our standard is 5, it's going to fire me up to try to get 10 as well. So I think that one of the separating factors in what has allowed me to be successful with this is that I pursue that accountability. And I'm incredibly competitive with it because I think that it is very, very easy to shut down, especially if you set an unattainable goal. If I said I'm going to get 20 new sales every single week and I don't hit it, that weekend I'm probably going to be thinking, man, that was a little bit far-fetched anyway. I probably don't need to do that again. And then now I got no one holding me accountable. Right. But we put together these chain reactions of it because we continue seeking that out because it's attainable. But I would venture to say that a lot of people they don't hit it one time, so they stop, and then there's no accountability whatsoever, and that just turns into inconsistency and a lack of success where it could very well be there very easily if you just stuck to a standard and had someone hold you accountable to it, and when they called you out on it, you don't feel uncomfortable. You embrace it because you know that it's constructive. So
no, I love that. And it reminds me of a mentor shared a process called SMART goal. It's an acronym, SMART, S being specific, M being measurable, A being attainable, R being realistic, and then T being trackable, right? Yep. So all those things that you shared really fits into that mold. And it obviously being able to live that and follow through. It's those little wins we get every day that piles up, right? It's like going to the gym and working out. You just don't get ripped that first day, right? And every time. So awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. I do want to keep this tight and consistent for all of those on the road so we can get in and out. But what are some words of wisdom or things that you've identified as you speak with veteran reps and newer reps coming in that could really help make an impact to help them reach a million? I mean, I think so many of us get into it because we care and we want to help our communities, and what a great impact you can have. So on that path to getting there, again, that didn't just happen overnight. It took that activity. What are some things that we can walk away with from this conversation today that we can start using in our own process?
I think it's something that I say a lot, and I honestly think some people take it more seriously than others. But every single rep within this company was hand selected for a reason, because our hiring team, they feel that that rep was the best representation of what Snap Raise is in their community. So it's easy to get discouraged when coaches tell you no, when you deal with administration issues, when you deal with pushback, whatever it may be, and think, man, no one wants to listen to me. They do, and that they will eventually. Some people listen sooner than others, but the idea is you're supposed to be there for a reason. The people that you're talking to may or may not realize that yet, but when you continue to show up, you continue to be genuine, you continue to just have that passion and care for the program, people are going to pick up on that. Then people are going to start running campaigns. People are going to have a lot of success. People are going to re-sign with you. People are going to refer you to others. And then all those coaches that have been telling you no, or they were rude to you, or they said, get out of my office, or it's boosters that thought that they could recreate it, or it's administration saying, oh, this is crowdfunding, we don't do that. They'll eventually come around. So as long as the rep is staying persistent with just getting in front of coaches and being genuine, to me, they have no choice but to be successful. Even if you're a long-winded rep. I mean, we got reps that are sometimes bad at pitching because they're so conversational. They just want to talk. But the bottom line is coaches like to talk to them, so they have to realize, like, they're there for a reason, and coaches want you to be around, and now you're helping them raise money. I mean, that's a win-win situation. That's a great relationship to have. So patience and persistence is a term that I have said to probably every single guy on my team sooner or at some point in time in their career with Snap Raise. But you have to be patient. You have to be persistent. You will have everyone. That's something that Cole ingrained in me from day one. And I've seen it happen time and time again where people that told me no a year, 2 years, some even 3 years ago. In fact, I signed up a big-time baseball team that I first talked to 3 years ago. And I've been told no by him, by the boosters for 3 years. I just dropped in on his office the other day, and he said, man, I have seen what other people have done. We're going to try this out because we have no reason not to. And I walked into that meeting or into his office thinking that I was just going to get turned away. So that patience and persistence piece is a very big part.
Yeah, and maybe that will be your answer to this, but one thing that we all go through is that rejection, right? We're in sales, and getting your teeth kicked in. What do you do to pivot and say, forget about it? I'm going to go out there and help another team and crush it. Is there motivational quotes? Do you call your accountability buddy? Is there a song that just gets you fired up and says, hey, I'm the man. I bring millions to communities. What do you do to say, hey, because all of us go through it every day, right? At some point, if you're doing your job correctly, someone's going to tell you no.
Yeah.
What do you do to pivot in your mind to say, hey, that's okay. Let's keep moving.
So the term when one door closes, another one opens?
Yeah.
Okay. My term for that in Snap Raise is when one door closes, it doesn't really close, but 10 more other doors just opened. There is so many opportunities in our communities that when one coach tells you no, and it may be a big time potential campaign, fine. Go work with everybody else. That you're going to stay so busy that you can't possibly care because of how busy you are. But when you do get back in front of that coach, you're going to be like, man, I'm working with everybody else. Would still love to work with you. They may tell you no, or maybe by that time they've seen all the other success and they're like, all right, I'm going to give you a shot at this thing. And then you end up getting them on board. But I mean, there's some coaches that I feel like, man, I might never work with them, but that doesn't change anything about my resolve because I know that we're going to continue working with everybody else. And I can't there's not enough time in a day, not enough days in the year for me to be able to work with every single group that's in my area.
Yeah.
So when one door closes, there is literally 10, if not more others that I can still go work with. And that is what it's about. It's not about the group that I didn't work with. It's about the other groups that I haven't worked with yet.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach, for saving me time. I'm going to go help someone else.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Well, any other feedback or suggestions to veteran reps, to younger reps, that's going to help make a big impact in their ability to impact their community?
Um, yeah. What my this is an idea that I think is the tipping point of what makes a good rep a great rep.
Okay.
Um, we are in the business of problem solving. Okay, we solve a lot of problems. How much money teams have, how fast they have it, how easy it is, how to get more people involved with raising money for that group, etc. But the problem is this: fundraising has been the same monotonous thing for years and years and years. Selling products, it's what so many coaches and group leaders are conditioned to know is this is just what we do to raise money. So as a newer rep, when you come into a community and you're pitching snap raise to a coach, and you just start talking about well, this is what we do, this is what we do. Coach is thinking, man, I raise $20,000 every time I do cards. I don't need to do anything else. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He doesn't think it's broken. He knows he does cards and gets $20,000. So asking lead up questions like, Coach, what do y'all do to raise money? We sell cards. How much do you raise? $20,000. Is it easy? No, not really. Do the kids enjoy it? No, it's like pulling teeth to get the kids to do it. How many people give you $100 for a $20 card? He's like, what do you mean? I just answered the question. Do they give you $100 for a $20 card? Well, no, they give me $20 for a $20 card, or they buy five. Okay. How do you reach out to family and friends that are not within the community? Well, we don't, honestly. Who are you? What do you do? Oh, I'm with SnapRace. So what we do is we actually are an online donation campaign that allows you guys to reach out to family and friends that are not in the community. The kids literally just take 30 minutes setting up a profile on their phone, send out those texts and emails to family and friends. They donate. Because you guys are a nonprofit organization, it's a tax write-off. So every time you're selling one of those $20 products, you're only going to get $20 for it. But if someone can donate, they'll give $100. The psychology of giving. People give more when they can donate. That's what we do, and it's why we have programs of your size raising $50,000 in 30 minutes as opposed to $20,000 in 3 weeks from going out and selling cards. So we provide a solution, but if I said all that stuff before coach realized he had a problem, it wouldn't have meant anything. So you
Yeah.
have to lead coaches into understanding they have a problem before you can come in and pounce with this solution. But I see way too many reps that come in with this solution barrage for coaches that don't know they have a problem, and they walk away with their tail between their legs because coach wasn't receptive to it at all, and they have no idea why, because all we've been told is snap raise is the best thing ever. Well, it is, but unless you present it the right way, coaches don't know that. That's my words of wisdom.
Tape it, rewind it back. I love it. That's what it's all about. And, it made me think we're consultants, right? Just like you go into the doctor's office, the doctor doesn't go, hey, here, take this medicine. Well, they
Yep.
ask you questions. Hey, how long have you been ill? What pain do you have? And sometimes you don't know the pain you have until they get to the right question. So I love that. It's great feedback. And, I think so many of us got to remember this is a conceptually new approach. Just as you pointed out, people are traditionally so stuck in this bubble of this selling crap. And,
Yes.
nobody came out and bought the iPhone when it first came out. There was this select few. But it's our job to get out there and educate people so they can make the best decisions for their teams and programs. And that's what you're out there doing. We love you for it. I really appreciate your time and energy and bringing some good wisdom to us. Again, I just want to say thank you. And if you don't have any other final words, we'll let you get back to snapping and have a great evening.
All right, man. I really appreciate you doing this, man. Have a good rest of the day, okay?
All right. Appreciate you. Take care.
All right, Michael.